Hi there, Jeff here from the Wetsuit Centre, talking to you today about the Mystic Star range of winter wetsuits for winter 2020 into 2021. Mystic is a brand that we've brought on in the last year, proven to be really popular, and the reason being is because of their good reputation, an extremely good product, good sort of finishing details on the product, good quality, attention to detail, and research development and attention to sort of what the people actually need that are using their wetsuits. So they've got a great range of products as well, and we're particularly impressed with this suit, which is kind of the entry-level winter wetsuit, so without spending too much money basically. This is the entry-level wetsuit, which is great for people shopping on a budget, or people deciding whether they want to get into a sport where they don't have to spend too much money, but they're still going to get a quality winter wetsuit. So the Mystic Star, it's available for chest zip and a back zip, and I'll go into the differences of those in a second. But essentially this is the 5mm wetsuit, which is good for UK winters. So 5mm on the lower body and 3mm on the upper body where you need a bit more flex, and 5mm where you need to sort of retain heat and keep that warmth. Good for UK winters and probably Northern Europe. And obviously it all depends on your tolerance of cold, but you can drop to something like a 4.3 and then a 3.2 for the summer months in the UK, but maybe in Southern Europe and in warmer countries you'll get away with that. But for UK winters, then you're looking at a 5.3. Mystic will go with a 5.3 instead of a 5.4. A lot of surfing brands like O'Neill, Seaskins and XL will go with a 5.4, and the reason being is because when you're surfing you do sort of do a lot of sitting around and waiting for waves, and you can have a tendency to get a bit cold. Mystic are more popular with the sort of kite surfers, the windsurfers, wakeboarders, that kind of thing, where you're quite a dynamic range of movement, you're quite busy in the water, and so typically you prefer to opt for flexibility over warmth in the upper part of the body at least. Okay, so as I say, the Star is an entry-level wetsuit, chest zip or back zip. Now chest zip basically is more popular with the younger people who are a bit more flexible, find it easier to get on and off. The benefits of having a chest zip, obviously you don't have a zip in the back of the wetsuit, which frees up the whole lumbar panel to give you ultimate flex and basically maneuverability in the back of the wetsuit. And then you obviously have no broken collar, so there's no zip running up through the back of the collar, which gives you a better seal around your neck and a better chance of keeping out any flush throughs. The downside is obviously it's harder to get on and off, and so for bigger people or more older, less flexible people, they prefer to go with the back zip, where obviously you can open it up nice and wide, get the suit nice and wide open, and then get on and off a bit easier. So it's really down to preference, but in terms of the actual technical aspects of the wetsuit, they're pretty much the same. It's just really down to the entry which you would prefer, depending on how old you are and so forth. Okay, so I'll grab one of these suits here. This is the men's chest zip wetsuit. Now the key sort of selling points, or the key things to take note with this particular suit, is the quality of the neoprene. 100% super stretch neoprene, and when we say super stretch, that basically means there's grades of neoprene, and the better grades of neoprene, such as super stretch, will have more air cells, more cells within the rubber to trap more warm air as it leaves your body and keep you warmer. Also, most importantly, give you lots more flexibility. Okay, and also the lycra, the jersey over the top of the rubber, which is sort of stuck to the top basically, is a higher grade. So it's softer to the touch, so it's easier to glide your hand through when you're putting it on. Feels better against the skin, and again gives more flexibility. In a lot of really cheap wetsuits, you'll only find that you'll have super stretch in the upper body, and the lower body will be more of a sort of a BTN neoprene, or more of a coarser neoprene with less air inside. So this is 100% super stretch, this particular wetsuit. It's panelled very nicely, so all of the seams that are put into the suit are sort of arced and changed into the direction of the body, so you haven't got any restrictions such as over the shoulder or under the arm. Lots of flexibility there. One big piece of neoprene down the panel on the front, and even the lumbar region is arced to make sure that when you're bending forward and backwards, you're not being restricted by the seam. The other key thing that you need to know about is the seams of the wetsuit. And what you do, if you sort of, it'll be a little bit of a close-up camera here now, which will give you a sort of a bit of a closer look at the seam. And essentially this is a glued and blind stitch seam, which means that it's stitched halfway through, and on the other side, it's then glued to create a seal, so that you won't have any water coming in, pouring in through the seams basically. And then critical parts of the wetsuit, so parts which come under the most tension, are then taped. You can see around the cuff there to provide longevity of the suit and a bit more durability. So yeah, key things there. You've got the glued and blind stitched suit seams, and then obviously you've got the taping there as well. The more money that you kind of spend, the higher grade of neoprene it becomes. You get lots of things like taped seams on the outside and inside for durability and to really keep water out, and then obviously more lining in the suit, so you get what you pay for essentially. So if we look further down on the suit, I'll bring this closer. You've got a Duraflex knee pad, particularly good with kite surfers, that kind of thing, or anyone who's sort of basically using their knees to get up or anything. Then it's a very durable knee pad, basically stops any wear and tear in the knee and the suit dying too quickly. One thing that's key, obviously, with the waking or sort of toe sports, anything like that, or kiting, you do have that sort of little fabric loop there as well, so that you can use it with a Velcro strap around the ankle. Particularly good to stop any sort of flush throughs of water coming up your leg if you fall off at speed. Okay, so you have got that option. And I believe further up here, you get your ankle straps here as well included. So you can use it with or without those straps. That comes with all the Mystic suits basically. Further up, you've got the chest entry here. You can see the sort of chest entry system, and this is sewn over the top of the wetsuit. And essentially what that means is the inside of the wetsuit is just under this layer. If I pull this back, and then the chest zip system is sewn over the top. Now this is a complete sort of, it joins on either end basically. So what that means is it spreads a bit wider the actual inside of the wetsuit. Any water that comes in through that section is met with these two panels of neoprene. Instead of going into the suit, it'll be flushed out through either side of the chest entry system, and then you've got some drain holes here around the back of the suit as well. Okay? And it's just a really good effective system at keeping water out of the suit. That means that you're getting in through the top here. There's overlay of neoprene as well here, and that means that you can basically pull it nice and wide, turn it inside out, put it on like a pair of trousers and up and over your body, and it's not too hard to get on and off. Now, as I said before, this suit is not joined on one side like you get with some suits like in the surfing world, which means that you've got to just tack it on and zip it across. It will create a complete seal there. Benefits of that, it's easier to basically get in and out of. Downside, it can be a bit fiddly rather than just zipping it straight out. Okay, so that's pretty much the entry level system on the chest entry suit there. And with the back zip, this is the ladies one. The ladies one's obviously cut slightly different panels to suit a lady's shape a bit better, but essentially the back zip system is the same. So with the back zip, you've got a collar which you can adjust. The zip opens nice and wide, and you've actually got what we call a bat wing, which is an inner layer just underneath the zip, which means any water that comes in through the collar, instead of going into the suit, it runs down into this little pocket here, and then again you've got those little drain holes at the bottom here just to get rid of any water so it doesn't come into the suit. And it gives you an extra layer where you can adhere some thermal lining, which we'll go to in a second. But that's got a collar, so that goes up and over your head, and then you zip back up, and that's basically what in O'Neill they call it the Zen zip system. Lots of different names, but essentially it's like a bat wing. Back goes up and over your head and stops any water flushing into the suit. So even the back zip is taking into consideration flush throughs, and the technology is there to stop that happening. Again, that's just down to personal preference, what you prefer. That's the lady suit. The lady suit is available in the chest entry as well. There might be a slight price difference between the two, but it's only like about £10. So on outside of the suit, that's pretty much everything that's going on. And what I'm going to do, turn the suit inside out so that you can have a little look, and then we'll show you the sort of benefits or the technical aspects going on inside of the Mystic Star. Okay, so here we have the inside of the suit. Bring that a bit closer, and you'll notice just basically the different colours. And essentially, the purple or the blue parts are the neoprene itself, the super stretch neoprene lining. Okay, it's kind of fluffy, soft texture. Again, that's just good quality jersey on the actual neoprene, which you'd expect for a suit that you are paying a little bit more for. You've got the orange sections, and what the orange sections are. So if we ran the camera over the inside of the suit there, you can have a little look a bit closer. And essentially what this material is a polypro material, and it is a non-absorbent, sort of a plasticky, fluffy material. And essentially it's just there to make sure water doesn't absorb into the material, number one, and what it does is it retains heat as it leaves your body. So instead of your body losing heat through the neoprene, this extra layer will just retain that heat against your skin, against all the sort of undulations between the fluff, keep you a bit warmer for longer, but also wick water away from your body because it is non-absorbent. So we move back again, and you can see that is again the back panel of the suit, just to keep your lumbar and your back warm. And then around the front of the suit, you've got that right from the chest right the way down through to the knee. and that is a particularly impressive amount of thermal lining for a wetsuit that's under 200 pounds. A lot of sort of similar or competitors' wetsuits will go over the sort of 200 pound mark when you're talking about that amount of thermal lining. Moving further down the suit then, you can sort of see the taping that we were talking about before. I'll move a bit closer, you can see that. And those spot welding of taping is just basically to reinforce the joints between two panels to make sure that your suit isn't going to fall apart and you're going to get a nice long shelf life out of that suit. So essentially that's everything that really is going on with the Mystic Star. One other thing that's worth mentioning actually is on the back zip you do get like a double line collar. And what that means is there's two pieces of neoprene butted up together. The inside is smooth and that'll allow the two pieces to move independently. So the inside sticks to your neck and the outside moves independently and you don't get any rubbing or chafing. So if you do suffer from rash on the wetsuit, that is a nice technical feature to stop that happening. Okay, so that's pretty much everything going on with the Mystic Star for winter 2020 into 2021. As we say, it's sort of a mid-level price-wise suit. You will get cheaper wetsuits, but again, you get what you pay for. The quality of neoprene will go down and you won't get all the nice finishes that you get on the wetsuit, from the quality of the zip, even down to the sort of quality of the tab. There's no corners cut, and with that amount of thermal lining through the suit, it's definitely a good buy. Okay, it comes with the back zip and the chest zip for men and for women, and so it doesn't really matter if it's not for kite surfing. This suit is still really good for surfing, stand-up paddleboarding, all those kind of things. And if you place flexibility in the upper part of the body over sort of like warmth through the upper part of the body, it's a good suit to look at because obviously it's the 5'3", so it's a little bit thinner on the arm. With the warmer winters that we're having, you'll definitely get away with that, no problems if you don't particularly feel the cold. And even if you do, as long as you're active, it's still going to be a great wetsuit that's going to keep you really warm. So definitely a recommendation for a wetsuit around the mid to late £100. Basically the Mystic Star. Let's hear it.